Okay, Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. So in chapter 5, we will learn about thermodynamic, which is this chapter will cover first law of thermodynamic, work, heat, enthalpy, and then calorimetry, Gibbs energy, and second law of thermodynamic. Okay, part A is thermochemistry. As we know that all the chemical reaction will absorb or produce energy through the chemical reactions. Okay, and heat is transfer of the thermal energy between the two bodies at a different temperature. Okay, thermodynamic means that the science of motions, which is dynamics, or the transformation of the heat, which is thermo, and energy into a various other energy containing forms. Okay, which is thermodynamic is the study of the relationship between the heat, energy, and the works. While thermochemistry is the branch of the thermodynamics, which is study the heat given off or absorbed in the chemical reactions. The nature of energy and type of energy. The law of conversion of energy states that the energy cannot be created or destroyed, but only changed from one form into another or transfer from one object to another. Means that the quantity of the energy in universe is assumed constant. Okay, energy is the capacity to do works, and it is expressed in joule unit. Potential energy is the energy stored in an object due to its the positions above the Earth's surface. It is called as a potential energy because the potential of the energy to convert into the other form of energy, such as kinetic energy. Okay, potential energy or PE is equal to mgz, which is m is the mass, g is the gravimetry, and z is the elevations, which is the higher the positions, the higher the potential energy. Kinetic energy is energy posed by an object in motions, which is depends both on mass and the velocity. Okay, which is kinetic energy is directly proportional to the mass of the object and the square of its velocity, which is kinetic energy usually measured in unit of joule or kilojoule. Okay, table demonstrate the potential and kinetic energy, which is there are several forms of potential energy, which is including chemical energy, mechanical energy, nuclear and gravimetry energy. And then for the kinetic energy such as motion, sound, and electrical energy. Figure shows the transformations of energy, which is energy convert, for example, from the gasoline, which is chemicals, convert to the electrical energy in the form of battery, can provide the mechanical energy and can cause the car to move. And then from the chemical energy also convert to the mechanical and electrical energy, which can cause the light and sound of the televisions. From the food chemical energy, it is convert to energy to do the works, which is the man can running. Energy can be divided into non-renewables and renewable energy. Okay, non-renewable energy is means that energy that cannot be replaced as they are used, which is they are available in limited supply, usually because they are take a long time to replenish. For example, the fossil fuels, coals, natural gas, and then the renewable energy, which is the energy that can be replaced in a short time. For example, solar energy, biomass, and geothermal energy. Biomass energy comes from any organic matters, for example, woods, solid waste, cabbage, or plants that can use to generate an energy, while geothermal is the energy that generate and store in the earth. Okay, a system is the regions that containing the energy and matter that spread from the surrounding by the boundaries. And then the boundary is the closed surface that surrounding a system through which the energy and mass may be enter or leave the system. And everything around the system is called as the surrounding, which is the system is the part of the universe that being studied, while the surrounding are the rest of the universe that interact with the system. There are three types of system, which is open system, closed and isolate system. Which is open system allow the exchange of the mass and energy. Okay, usually the energy is in the form of heats from between the system and the surrounding. For example, an open cup of coffee. Okay, and then closed system, which is allow the transfer of the energy, but do not allow the transfer of the mass. For example, a tightly kept cup of coffee. And then the isolate system, which is do not allow the transfer of the mass or energy between the system and the surrounding. For example, the well insulated thermos bottles. In exothermic reactions, heat is given off by the system to the surrounding. For example, the combustion reaction, which is the system is the reacting mixture, which is hydrogen, oxygen and water molecules, while the surrounding is the rest of the universe. Okay, during the combustion reaction, heat is generated by the combustions transfer from the system to its surrounding. Okay, well for the endothermic reaction, which is heat is absorbed by the system from the surrounding. For example, the decomposition reaction. Okay, which is the system is the reacting mixture, while the surrounding is the rest of the universe. Okay, which is in the endothermic reaction, heat has been supplied to the system to decompose the mercury by the surrounding. In thermodynamics, we study the change in the state of the system, which is state is referred to the temperature, pressure, and the amount of the type of the substance presence, which is once the state has been established that the state function can be defined, which is state functions is the value that depends on the state of the substance and not how that state was reached, which is means that it is depends only on the initial and the final states of the systems and not on how the change is accomplished. According to the law of conversion energy, which is energy cannot be created or destroyed during the process, it is only changed from one form to another forms, which is the total quantity of the energy in the universe is assumed to constants. For example, from the kinetic energy here, which is transferred to the potential energy, and then finally to the kinetic energy again, that the total energy is constant.